Hi guys, I decided to put together a small tutorial just so that we can go through a couple of the similar figures problems together. This is actually from your workbook that is likely sitting either in your locker or still in school, but I figured that the workbook had some really good examples. So I'm not going to go over all of the ones on this page, but we'll go through a couple of them just so that you can see the way that we might go about solving some of these questions. So for number one, it's asking whether or not the two figures are similar. And so what I need to do is look at the figures. I notice that they're both right triangles, right? They both have right angles. And then I notice that I have three numbers for each of them. So what I'm going to do is look to see what the change is from one number to another. So in this case, I'm going to go from 3 to 15. When I do that, I'm multiplying times 5. So 3 times 5 is 15. When I look at this one here, I notice that the change from 5 to 25 is also times 5. And then what I'm looking at is this number going over to the same side, the corresponding side, and I go from 4 to 20, which is also times 5. So what this tells me is that, yes, they are similar triangles. On this problem, what you'll notice is that they mirrored the actual image. So this side and this side are the corresponding sides. It's as though they flipped one of them. So what I'm going to do is create a proportion to determine whether or not they're equal. So in order to do that, I'm going to write a fraction for each of these shapes. So this is one shape and two shapes. I'm going to put I've decided I'm going to put my height on the top, and I'm going to put my length on the bottom, so 9 over 12. Let's see if we can make that one a little bit better there. 9 over 12. What I need to make sure I'm doing on this other side of the fraction is that I'm putting the corresponding side on the same level. So since I decided to do my height first, I need to make sure that I put my height on the top when I go to write it down. And then I'm going to have my length on the bottom. Now, back in quarter 3, we talked about determining whether or not two fractions were a proportion by cross multiplying. So what I can do is I can look and see 12 times 5 is 60 and 8 times 9 is 72, which tells me that these two shapes are not similar. Sorry, let's scoot this down now. Okay, these other two problems. So this says you have a 4x6 photo of you and a friend. So we're going to start by having a 4x6 photo. So my short side is 4, my long side is 6. I order a 5x7 print of that same photo. And now the question is, are they exactly the same? As in, if I took this picture and just stretched it to make it 5x7, would the image be exactly the same, or would it be slightly distorted? So what I'm going to do is set up a proportion as well. I'm going to do my length here this time first, and my height on the bottom one. So same thing here, we have to make sure that we do it in the same order. So I'm going to do my length on the top and my height on the bottom. And then I'm just going to cross multiply. So what I am seeing here is that this is giving me 30 and this is giving me 28. So no, these are not similar. And actually, if you were to mess around with photography software to print out a photo, it would notify you that you need to crop a 5x7 in order to make it so that the image was correct without it being distorted. So let's look at letter B. You enlarge the original photo to 3 times its size on your computer. So now, is this new photo similar to the original? So what we're going to do here is we've got our 4x6. We now have a bigger one. That's telling me 3 times its size. So what I'm going to do is multiply this times 3. So 4 times 3 gives me 12. 6 times 3 gives me 18. Now right off the bat, because I've changed them both by the same amount, times 3 times 3, I know that they are similar, but I can also set up my proportion just to double check. So let's say I go with my length first. Oop, I did it backwards anyways. So I have my length on the bottom here and my height on the top. If I were to multiply these, I have 18 times 4, which gives me 72, and 6 times 12, which gives me 72. So in this case, yes, they are similar shapes.